Hello and good evening. It's Tuesday. And we are in the Sew with Trisha group, most hopefully. And good evening. Oh goodness. That's better. And I've got the camera this way round so that it's all the right way round, right from the very start. So welcome this evening. It is the last Thursday of the month when we do a pouchy type project. Admittedly, this one is perhaps a little bit longer than previous ones, but it's still a little project. And as I showed you pictures of the little purse that I made earlier in the week or late last week, when I just wanted to sew, I decided I'd use that same technique, and people said that they hadn't seen it before. So I thought to myself, okay, we will use that technique on a pouch, which I have done some while ago, probably 3 years ago. So that's what I'm going to show you tonight. So obviously I have no comments, which is why I thought I will come on directly with, you won't see me. I look absolutely beautiful tonight. Not really. But I thought I would just show you how to do this with the camera facing down. And perhaps when I've finished it, I'll turn it around again. But it's really irritating that Facebook will not allow a reverse image as of probably 6 weeks ago now. Very frustrating, but never mind. So, hello Liz, hello Sharon, hello Sue, hello Jill and John, hello Jane, Gita, Sandra, Marilyn, Nettie, Susan, Patricia, Marilyn, Leslie, Maria, Anne, Yvonne, Christine, Dorothy, Shirley. Oh, lots of you here tonight, which is lovely. You may have noticed I have already popped a kit on the website. You may not have done. Let's just see if you can see that. I'll drop it down if you can't. Hello Jill, hello Michelle, hello Janet. Yes, so I have done a kit for this using the brand new Lighthouse range by Adidas Sitar. And they're not selvage this time, they are actual strips of fabric. So you get everything within it, the bias binding, the zip, the lining, all the strips are cut, well, not exactly size, but you'll be able to trim them away. Plus you'll get the little handmade label here. I haven't put the rivets in because there are little holes and you can sew that in. Or if you have a green machine or a Vario press, you'll be able to put your own rivets in there. And you will also get the lining. So let's just open this up like so. So the instructions, the PDF is already in the group with templates for 2 sizes. So this one is the smaller size and there is a bigger one as well. And the instructions are for, although I've put the braided technique at the beginning, the instructions are for the basic, just purely one fabric that you add the lining to and then quilt. But I'm going to show you tonight doing, well no, I've already done it, but the braided piece, I actually put the lining fabric underneath the wadding, and you'll see from the little video I've made, so that it's quilted. So this one's not quilted, my first one, but the one we'll be making tonight, it's a quilt as you go, because I've added the backing fabric to the back. Oh, thank you, Jane. Nails, I do like them like this, but they irritate me. So I had a week or so off. Hello, Marion. You use this method on a mug rug. We did. That's right, Marion. Absolutely right. Not everybody was in that swap group, so not everybody will have seen how to do it because there were questions. Hello, Patricia. Okay, so that's what we are going to make. Oh, Gita loves my nails too. Do you know what? They're only from Amazon, and they were cheap, and you just pop them on with glue, and it doesn't ruin my nails underneath, which is brilliant. So, still got this nasty, nasty cough. Anyhow, having made the base, hello Tony, hello Nikki, and there's Janet as well. Hello Janet. Having made the base, let's have a look. So I did this earlier and I just trimmed around. Now, if you wanted to make this into a purse, just like I did, all I did was fold it up like so. Well, no, you'd have to put bias binding around this, and then I folded that flap down like that and got lining on there as we've done. Yes, we have Michelle, but as I say, that was also in this group. So there are new people to the group who haven't done it before, and I was asked to do it. So this is why I thought, but I don't know whether you'll have made the Pippa Pouch before. Anyhow, here is my piece of fabric. So what we're going to do to start with, you will find you have the templates, and what you will get is a piece of, or a drawing of that shape. As it says, place on fold, and down here, place on fold. Now, I find it easier to put another piece of paper so that I get a template like this. So this is half the template. So we've placed that one on the fold. This down here needs to be on the fold as well. So I found that is ample for what we're going to do. And all we need to do with our piece of braided patchwork, or if you're just using fabric, just pop your fabric down there. You could put some backing fabric on the back with wadding in between, and you could just quilt however you like. That's lovely. Thank you, Jane. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. As you can see, I've already drawn it there. So fold that in half, line those edges up, and then we're going to pop what I'm going to do actually, and I think it's a wise idea to do this, is to put a pin or two in your fabrics. Let's just see that is, there we are. So that's on the fold. We want it to stay folded. So I folded it. Here's my folded edge, which is where this piece placed on the fold needs to go. So it's a short straight edge which needs to go on the fold of your fabric. And so we'll line that up with the fold, and then you can either cut around it with a rotary cutter, or as I've done, I have just drawn around the edge, as you can see there, drawn, and I'm going to cut through. So let's see, let's just cut up there. So this is going to give us our base, our gusset, and then around this edge too. Keep your pins away from the cutting area, because one, if you're using a rotary cutter, you don't want to run over a pin, and two, if you're using scissors, you don't want to cut or your scissor blades to go onto the blades of the scissor. So let's just cut around here. It's fairly thick because, there we go. And then just this little bit here. Whoops. And here. Now you may want to save these little bits. I don't know what for, but they could be something, couldn't they? Okay. So let's take our pins away. And there we have our piece of fabric. Doesn't it look pretty? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, having done the hard work, if you like, we've got our lining fabric there. What we're going to do now what I'm going to do actually is, let's see, I've got a bit of a glue stick here. I've got my 505 glue, and where these little edges are, you can either use a glue stick just to hold those down, because we don't want those popping up as we go. And it's only these outer edges, or this one as well. I mean, actually, it is a good idea to stitch all the way around the edge to keep everything down. So that's down there. That's all right. That's all right. Okay, so I've got all my edges laid down. It's these little bits that can spring up when we are stitching. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to put bias binding around these curved edges. So I have my bias here. Now what I've already done is folded it in half. You can see I've pressed it in half because it makes life easy. So I'm going to pop the outer edge into the fold, and then I'm going to leave a little bit over the edge because I can trim that back, and just push that in so that it's right into that fold. And oh, hello Jen, don't worry. Hello Sandra. Oh, as per usual, I've there we are. I've unthreaded my machine because that's what I do. It's when I move things around. Right, so let's just hold on to that. Bring that down. Oops. Oh, threaded it. Oh well, okay. So I've got that threaded in. Make sure my bias, or rather my outer edge, is tucked into the bias binding, and then I'm going to stitch through both layers, or all layers. So I'm just pulling that round. We've got a sort of long curved edge here, so we'll just stitch away up here, and then as we move around where the curve is, we just pull it that little bit further. There we go, because we're going around this curve, so we want to just curve it around, and then I press my fingers down just to flatten it, and watching that the actual width of the bias is the same the whole way. So let's just see, make it a little bit there. Okay, so we've got a straightish edge along the top, so just tuck that in, the wadding and that fabric, and carry on around. So we've got a sort of fairly straight edge, and we've got a curve as it comes here. So just hold that down, and I'm trying to stitch at the same distance from the edge of the bias. So here I'm just pulling that around a little bit because it's on a curve. Okay. Hello Elaine, hello Angela, hello Mavis. Right, so I'm just pushing that in. We're on that curve. So we do something a little bit different when it comes to adding the zip. But first of all, we're just popping on the bias binding. Okay, so I'm just moving that into the fold of the bias, and I'm getting down towards the end here, so I'm just going to trim that. Hopefully I haven't trimmed it too short. There we go. So tuck that in, fold it over, and carry on stitching down. No, that's just about right. Now you don't need to stretch your bias on the straight edge. It just needs to fit in there. Okay, so that's our first bit done all the way around. That's neatened that off really beautifully. So then we need to do this second edge here, and I didn't fold that very accurately, but I'm sure that will be fine. So let's tuck that in and wrap it over again so we get a straight edge. Right, let's just start ourselves off first of all. There we are. So I'm probably about, say, a 1/16 of an inch in from the fold of the bias. So I'm just tucking that next bit in, pushing it over with my finger, and stitching around as we go. So again, so where I've got to this little curve here, I've just stretched it slightly, so that it takes on, it's still flat, but it takes on the curve of the bias of the actual pouch itself. So let's just pull that round just a little bit, keeping our bias strip the same width all the way around, or as near as we possibly can. And let's just push that little bit in and pull it over. It's quite good with the nails actually for doing this. Just holding that down. And then we're coming along to a straight edge now. So I'm just finishing off that curve. Push that in and push the bias over. And what we should have is stitching on the back, basically just the same as the front. But if we stitch on the front, that's where we'll get our best stitching, if you like. So we're going along the straight now. We're coming up to another curve here. So just pull that across, pull that the pouch into the bias. That looks like there's not quite as much there. So let's just pull that over. That's better. And then around this curve here, push the next little bit in. Imagine you are sewing, well, you are sewing in a straight line. But it's the bias that is moving. Okay, so we're almost round. And I'm just making sure that piece there is nicely tucked in, because we don't want that escaping on the back. So again, just pull that bias over, and then we're coming down to the straight here, and I'm just going to trim that off so I haven't got it in the way. So let's just tuck that in, wrap it over, and come down to the very end and wrap that over there. There we are. So all we need to do now is just trim these these ends, the little bits of bias. There we go. And around here, just the tiniest of bits. There we are. So we're all nice and neat all around this edge now. So the next thing we need to do is we need to add our zip. Now, unlike, we'll use our zipped end first, and this should go, as long as I've got the right size, I have. Okay, so what we're going to do here, and this really is nice and easy, we are going to pop our zip. I've left the metal bits out here. That's it. Let's leave the zip out there because there's enough room to do that. And I'm putting the bias up to this edge of the nylon coil. So if you pop your zipper foot on, what I'm going to do, so I'm going to take that just a little bit further. That's it. And then I'm going to stitch along there. So I'm just putting the edge of the bias up to the edge of the coil, and whilst we are on the straight, that's absolutely fine. When we come to this curve, I'm going to do it beforehand, but when we come to this curve, we're going to clip into, I'm just going to get a little pair of scissors here, I'm going to clip into that curve. So can you see one? So about every half an inch, I'm going to clip halfway across, not right up to the nylon coil. What you'll be able to see, actually, there's a little bit of a line along there. So for about 6 inches or so, I have this around. It is going to fold nicely under the actual pouch. Oh, there's Wendy. Hello. Let's just see what we're doing here. Oh, right. Let's have a look. Yes, they've all caught really easily underneath. Sorry, I didn't show you. If you press it in half first of all, you will get so much. See, that's all caught easily, all the way around there, and it's caught on the front. So we are fine. Okay. So let's just carry on stitching, watching the nylon coil at the edge of the bias. So then when we come here, let's just push that under a little bit because we're starting to go around a curve. Now it will pull up just that little bit, but that is absolutely fine. So I'm just pushing my zip under. Actually, what I should have done is at the same time as I cut this side, we could cut that side as well. So I've missed back there, but I'll be able to see. There we are. So I'll cut those. I know that's where I stop, but we will cut again as we, so pull that around a little bit more, and then we're coming up to a straight. So nice and easy on a straight, just holding that up to the zip. So now I've got another curve here. So let's clip into here again. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops, if I held that nicely. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, that should be. Now I'll do one more. One more for luck. 6 and 7. So I've got all little bits which are going to go around this curve here. So again, I'm still on that straight. So I'm going to start just moving the zip around where the curve is coming. Okay. And there. And just concentrating on the fact that the zip and the edge of the bias are next to each other. Okay. And then we'll just go right down to the end. Perhaps if you want just to do a reverse stitch there. Okay. So we have now got our zip firmly attached the whole way around there. Now, as I said, what I should have done is look to see. We can look on the other side here. That's where I started my cutting. So let's just trim into there and there. Okay. And similarly around here, where I clipped in, we can just turn that over and you can see exactly where you clipped on the other side. Right, we clipped there. So now I've got all my clipping for going round the curves on the other side. Right, so we've got one half in. Now we want to put the second half. So what I'm going to do is on this side here, I'm going to make a little mark. This is an erasable, but where, let's just bring that up there, where the zip is here, I'm going to put a little mark there so that this lines up because I'm going to open the zip up. So by making that little mark, I know the edge of my pouch needs to line up there because when I open this out to make it so much easier to stitch, I really don't know. So I've opened this up, but I don't know where I'm going to put this on here. Now let me just zip it again, just so that I get this. So let's turn it this way, so it's the right way, because this is going to sit on here. Okay. So I've put that little mark so I know that's where it fits, and when I come around to the other side, I know that's going to be right. So let's, while it's zipped up, we will line that up like that. And I'm just going to put a pin in there just to hold that in place whilst I unzip. Okay, so that is going to have, oh, let's hold it with my nail there and unzip that. And that is where we're going to stitch. So I'm going to open it the whole way up. Let's just get this pin in. There we are. I'm going to open it the whole way up. What we could do is also look at this end because actually I'm going to start, I'm going to start from this end. I'm going to line that up here, and I'm going to put a little mark just there as well. And then I know that part has to line up there, because as I said, we wouldn't know where it's going to land up. So this is where we need it to be. And then I can open that out flat, and it's going to be easy. So we're going to do exactly the same as we did before. I'm just going to put a pin in there just so that you can see. Oh, there's Isabel, hello. Will the zip fray? No, because we haven't done it right to the end of the zip coil. Oops. See, that pin has made it go down a bit. Right. Oof. Pin. Let's put a pin across, and then we can pull it out as we go. So where I made my mark, where it lined up with the other side, that's where I'm going to start. So, as you can see, it's so easy when your zip is extremely long, you can work on it flat again. So here we go again, we'll start, and I'm lining the zip coil up with the edge there. Just make sure those are all, as we go round, you'll see, but they'll all lay down nicely. So line that zip with the edge, and just make sure that is, actually we'll leave that open because it's making it all curl up, and we want those little bits to lie flat. So whilst we're on the straight, nice and easy, as I say, it's when we get to the curve, that's where we want to just lay that curve, and then the next little bit will go under there as well. And the straight is just there. So line that up, and we're coming up to our, oh, need to have cut that in the wrong place. Let's just clip this. You'll see when you need a little bit more clipping to come round the curve, and then just push that under, just little by little. And what it's going to give you, which is rather nice, is a double row of stitching. So going down here, and we'll be able to see that that little line matches up really well. And again, I'll just reverse there. Okay, so let's just test it by zipping it up, and there we have the basics of it. Really doesn't take that long at all. So we've got that all done nicely now. So what we need to do is we will open that again, and we will fold it right sides together. So the first thing, we're going to clip off those, or what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to, let's take this round here, because before I clip anything off, I want to know that it's not going to fall apart. So here, which is where I'm going to cut, I'm just going to stitch. Easily just hold that flat, and I'm just going to stitch where those metal bits are going to come off. I'm just going to stitch that together. So just pull those together, and let's just pull that apart there and pop that little bit under the machine. That's it, and backwards. Just 2 or 3 times, just to hold that. And then I can clip off. We'll wait till we turn it to the other way. And similarly at this side as well. Okay, so we just want to stitch across. So just flatten that down and stitch across very slowly. So I've stitched across there as well, which means I can now open it up. and turn it to the wrong side. Okay, and we'll have our little excess bits poking out there. I'll just close it up a little bit. And then we've got to close these gaps here. So what we're going to do is put our finger into the hole, pull that out, and it's beautifully level. Okay, so now let's just pop a pin just there. I won't put it the other side, but now I can cut that off, the excess zip, and line that up, and I'm just going to stitch across there. So flatten it down. Now that's where the pins just hold that together. So 1/4 inch seam allowance, and slowly across that zip and backwards, and there we have our seam there. I'm just going to trim that back just a tiny bit. Okay, and then so we've done one side, we're now going to do the other side. So again, let's just flatten this. So pop your finger in there, flatten that down, and there we are, that lines up. Just make sure that is fabric is popped in there. Line that. Now this one is, but we're just going to line that up beautifully. And this most definitely needs a pin in there before we trim that off. So let's pop pin just there, and then if I just hold that, and we'll put a pin in once I have clipped off this bit here, because it may very well clip off the piece that I stitched. Right, let's just see. I might turn that this way so that I can see, yes, so I can see that I've got those zip ends lined up clearly together. Okay, so I think, so I'm reversing as I start. Let's just flatten that down so that you can see a little bit better, and then slowly over that zip coil and over to the other side, and reversing at that end too. So again, any tiny bits there, then just trim those off to make that nice and neat. So raw edges, not that good. So we are going to trim those ends. So I've got myself a strip. I think I've cut it 1 1/4 inch wide. And I'm just going to cut that in half like that. And I'll start with this side here. And I'm going to put this right sides together. We'll do it on the bottom side actually, so it comes up. So I'm going to put this on, doesn't matter which side you do it, but I just tend to prefer. So I'm going to pop it on that side, and I'm just going to fold that piece back like that. And you can trim it so that there's only about just over 1/4 inch of fold back there. And then I'm going to do the same at this other edge, just fold that in as well. So I've folded those raw edges back, and I'm going to stitch across again using a 1/4 inch seam, and then we're basically stitching over the same stitch or the same row of stitches that we did previously. So slowly over that. There we are, just folded that down. Okay. And then over there and reverse at the end. Okay. So having done that, flip to the other side, pull that out. Oh, so there's a little bit of, that's it, we could trim a little bit more of that zip away so there's no bulk. Okay, so I've got my folded edges here. So we're going to just fold that in roughly to the edge of our pouch. And I'm just going to nail press that. And then I'm going to turn it up over the stitching that we've already done, or over those raw edges. So just tuck that in. Similarly at this end, that little bit, turn it back and then fold it over the raw edges. So I'm just going to hold that down with my finger, and at this end I'm going to pull the pin out and put my needle down in there, and it's a little bit bold here now, so just take your time to go across there. So flatten that down and then keep going across. And when you get to the other side, just reverse off there as well. Okay. So that makes a nice, neat, just trim that off. So it's neat on that side, neat on that side. And then we need to do the same on this side here. So I'll take my other piece, and if you remember, we stitched from the other side, but if we put that down about halfway, and let's just flip it over to the other side, and then fold this back at the end, like so, and then at the end, just there. And you can put, probably better to put clips on there, binding clips. But I'm just going to hold that down with my fingers and just take that to the machine. As I said, 1/4 of an inch, because that's what we did the seam allowance when we were making the bag, the pouch. So we shall be stitching over the stitching that we did previously. So I'm reversing there as well. So now if we turn it to the wrong side, pull that bit out. Pull that out like so, and then I'll just crease up that side there. So make sure that's tucked in nicely, and then we can fold this longer raw edge in, and we can finger press along there as well and fold this in, fold that one in as well, and then we're going to pull it over those raw edges there. So it's easier just to do that first little bit, turn it around and put that under the machine and reverse, and then I can do the other bit, so we can just roll that over so we know that's in the perfect position, quite close to that folded edge, and then when we get to the other side, just reverse. And again, I can just clip off those little bits of thread. And there. So that's also nice and neat on that side too. And basically, oh my goodness, how quick is that? No, you won't be there. Zip looks a bit of a challenge. No, Jill, as soon as you're doing that, you will see how easy it is, because you're stitching from the top. You're not putting a layer of lining in there, because we've already got that done. Now, the only thing which is optional is we could have put a tab over there as well, but I decided not to. Okay, so that is our little pouch made, and I think that is rather nice. So you love making, lovely. Excuse me. So what, I'm just looking to see where my, I put them somewhere. I have, so, here they are. So in the kits, there will be a little handmade label like there. And it has got, I'll just poke that out, has got little slits in here. Little slits there. Just poke those little holes. So you can see those holes there, which you can put a rivet through there if you want to, or just 2 or 3 hand stitches through. And I just think I've taken to putting little handmade labels on things now, because I just think it raises it up just that little bit. Okay. So that is absolutely it. So pretty quick in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so let me see if I can take this out without dropping it. And I'm just going to, so there we are, you can see that a little bit better. And I'm just turning it around now because here I am. Okay, so let's see if I can get this in here. It's almost like going back to square one when I did it lives, you know, years ago, because we can't do the switch around. It's now just manually do it yourself. I have done it on the phone. Tonight I'm doing it on the iPad. It just gives a little bit of a wider vision, wider view than when I do it on the phone. And as you saw, I got a little bit, wouldn't let me rotate it previously. So never mind. So here it is. There's still no comments coming up, which is, well, there are no. So similar, that's a good. So there's one. This one, I do like the selvages. I really do. Just reminded me, Jill, your box of goodies we're on Tuesday, yesterday. So they'll be coming to you. So there's my, doesn't look very central at the minute. But yes, there's mine with the pouch, with the label on. And here's one with no label on as yet. But it is as simple as that. So any questions? I will say, oh, I'm glad you like it. What size? The strips are 1 1/4 inches wide, because as much as, where have I put that now? I'm just looking for my little, oh, here we are. So when I did this little one, they were random. Actually, they're about the same size. But the way I was thinking about it was, if I cut 1 inch strips, once I've stitched them together, they'll only be 1/2 inch wide, which looks fabulous. But at a 1/2 inch wide, you're wasting half of the fabric in a seam allowance, because you're cutting it 1 inch and then you're only seeing 1/2 inch. So the, where are we? This one. These don't look, so these are 1 1/4 cut to 3/4 inch, and sorry, stitched, and they're 3/4 inch. They don't look that much bigger. They still look quite nice and small, narrow. So, yes, that is what they are. You're absolutely right, Marilyn. It is achievable. I know, you know, I've been stitching a long time and I do it a bit quicker because I don't put pins in and whatever, but you try putting the zip in. The zip is very easy because you're butting up that edge that we've put bias binding round. And as you can see, so that's, oh no, that's the one I did earlier, isn't it? Yeah, you get that nice double row of stitching. Looks like, oh, you can't see very well. Looks like you've done a twin needle function to get that double row around there. Oh, thank you, Nettie. Oh, thank you, Sheeta. Yes, I shall be popping. I will pop labels on the website. I've had them a few weeks now, and I've forgotten to do it. Oh, jolly good, Jeeta. That is lovely. So I will put those on the website. The kit is on the website, and it is £15, but there is a discount code of Pippa 250 to give you £2.50 off. So it's only £12.50 plus postage. So it's really quite a good deal in these particular fabrics. So you will get 39 different fabrics. So if you were to look, there is every single strip, apart from probably, but they've probably been cut out. Where I come down to the corners, there might be a duplication because I used one of the bits I'd cut off because I don't like to waste. And I had, oh, there we are. There's about 5 strips there, which I didn't use. So you've got all 39 fabrics in that pouch, although saying that I haven't used them all. So there's more than enough. So you could pick and choose as to which ones you want. And you could also, okay, so I will take a look. You could also, you know, perhaps if you wanted to, put all the peachy into coral pinks together, and the blues on the other side, or I just pick them up randomly because that's what I don't mind doing. I just, you know, whatever. When I was using the selvage scraps, I'd got no choice, had I? It was just pick a selvage up, or whatever it was. So, it still comes out lovely because the fabric is beautiful. So it's just reminded me that I haven't put a menu up for this week. So, there will be on Thursday. I won't have a sale on Thursday, but I will have the sew along project. Now, I have made one. I'm not going to show you because it's not quite finished off around the edge. So being delayed, I was going to do it last week, but there's no way. It took me all day to work out all the measurements with what I wanted to do. So it's all a size that I wanted it to be, and then there's a particular part that I really had to work out. So I've made it in bluebird fabric at the minute, but it will be available in some of the lighthouse fabrics. So I think it will look very nice. No, Jenny, at the minute I've heard nothing to tell me it's going to cost me far too much money, and time to actually get all the things, in place and the authorized agent. Now, I know you've told me there are a couple of places, that are still sending to Northern Ireland, but they are all places with staff and plenty of staff. And if you imagine, I don't know if you read up about it, but the workload for every different product is got to be done for everyone. Now, if I was selling one single item and thousands of, that would be fine. You know, it'd be one lot of work, that's done, and I'd have to see what the authorised agent was going to cost me. But as I know, as I've been told, and I have shopped around, and it's one of the cheaper ones, it is, for me, £300 per product, to be able to do it. Well, I don't make £300, you know, on each product, and my products vary every set as to the content, where it was produced, safety standards, all sorts. So at the moment, I'm afraid it is still no. Yeah. The code is Pippa250. Thank you, Jill. It is, if you look in the group, which you're in it now, and look at where you can, the link is to the kit. I've put the code there. So if you always look, you know, through the group, I'd have a quick look on a daily basis because I'm always popping things in there. One of the things I did put today, there are now 140 odd, videos on YouTube, with probably only another 700 to go, but I keep putting some on every day. Well, I say that, I missed a day, so I put a dozen on the next day. So I keep uploading them, and I keep coming across more. I know I had an email today. I have got until June the 23rd to get everything I want uploaded to YouTube. So it's given me a little bit more time. It's just the ones I'm doing now, or since February the 19th, will be deleted. So so like today's one, will be deleted in 30 days. So I have to keep on top of everything. And remember to download every Facebook Live that I do that I want to keep. Otherwise, it will go. So, okay, you've got the code. That's in there. Ask Andy if he could help. I don't know how he could, Wendy, because he's not an authorised agent. He would be doing the same as I do. Suppose he does. Oh, I know. Yes, wouldn't that be lovely? A group holiday to Northern Ireland. There'd be Sharon, there'd be Jenny, there'd be Bridge, there'd be Heather. Who have I missed? I can't think. There will be some others. This is the thing, Nikki. I don't know. I mean, there will be things being sent. What if you want to send a birthday present? They can't all be. And I just wonder, I've heard nothing more. It's whether they're all scanned. I mean, whether it could go incognito. I always put a postage label on the back, don't I, with my address on. It would not have to say "So Totally Trisha" on it. I don't know. I just don't know. But as I say, yes, I know, Jenny. I miss sending them to you. I could spout your address off just like that, just like I could Sharon's. And there's a few others that I know as well. Not talking about anybody, Sue or Jack. I don't know if Jack's here tonight, but a lot of them I know, but not always with the postcode. I would know the addresses, but not with the postcode. I'm not that sad. Well, I don't know. Anyhow, I will put a menu up. So Thursday I will reveal the sew along, and on Friday I'll find something else to make. I will. So I might actually do something I've done today. Excuse me, this afternoon. I did do it in a swap group, and not all of you have been in a swap group. And it turned out really nicely. Shall I show you? I used a label again. So this is what we may do on Friday. Okay. So I just love my little pouches at the minute. So again, I had the same problem as Eileen. Eileen had a problem with a rivet the other day and the time for getting it out. Me too. One of these I pressed in too hard or a bit skew, and I wanted it out. Could I find my little jewellery pliers? No. So in the end, I just pulled and made a bigger hole and just made sure that my label covered it. So this is what this is. And I say, some of you will remember it. So it opens up and it's a little square boxy pouch. Now it's done slightly differently to how I did it before. So it closes up like that. But when it opens up, it's a little square container. There we go. Quite sweet, I thought. So I think that's what we'll do on Friday. I will call it square box pouch, because that's what it is. But nice and neat. Oh, there's Janet. Hello. You're completely pouch addicted. Yes. Yes. Wendy, yeah. Southern Ireland. Southern Ireland's different. Southern Ireland is in Europe. So it's in the EU. So it's just Northern Ireland is not in the EU, but for some reason the EU, well, it's because they're bordered with. So, yeah, it's really, really irritating. Yes, Patricia, you miss yours. Now, Patricia, you see, I don't post to her. She's in Southern Ireland, but I post to a Northern Ireland address, and then they're able to get the parcels to each other. So, yes, I know it would cost, there's just too much to do in it. I'm looking at the person I need to do from my lovely swap. Oh, were you, Janet? Yes. Yes, looks so good. Okay, so this is what we will be doing on Friday. Thursday will be the next, so there's it's a month before I can get another one or two in different colorways made up as well. So you have a choice. So, sponge, yes, do SpongeBob, give him some arms and legs, and he's SpongeBob SquarePants. Okay, right, I'm going to love you and leave you now. I'm home alone tonight because Martin's gone out for a curry with his son and left me here all on my own. So I've got a ready meal. I think it's tagliatelle, but I shall stick it in the microwave and I shall enjoy. So anyhow, take care of yourselves. Thank you for joining me tonight. The voice is going again. Oh my goodness, I should stop talking so much. But take care of take care of yourselves. I was reading Michelle's there, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye for now.